Once you learn to speak to yourself in the right way, a hidden power begins to awaken in the present moment. In the power of now, you discover that the universe responds not to struggle, but to the quiet authority of your inner voice. Speak like this, and you will see that reality itself begins to obey you. The power of now. Introduction. The language you choose shapes the very essence of your reality. Each word carries a vibrational frequency that resonates through the quantum field of infinite possibilities. When you speak of lack, the universe aligns with that frequency. When you declare abundance, creation itself shifts to match your proclamation. This is not mere positive thinking. It is the fundamental law of energetic alignment. The universe does not respond to hopes or wishes whispered in moments of doubt. It answers to the unwavering voice of certainty, to declarations made from a place of deep knowing. Your words are seeds planted in the fertile soil of consciousness. They grow into the circumstances and experiences that surround you. Most souls wander through life unconscious of this power, scattering words of limitation and fear, then wondering why their reality reflects those very limitations. The key lies in speaking from the eternal now, that timeless space where all possibilities exist simultaneously. From this space of presence, your words carry the weight of truth, the authority of being. They become commands that the universe delights in fulfilling. You need not shout or force your will upon existence. The quietest whisper, spoken with absolute knowing, holds more power than 1,000 desperate pleas. This is the art of conscious creation through aligned speech. When you declare I am, the universe responds, you are. When you proclaim abundance, existence itself rearranges to manifest that truth. Your words are not merely descriptive, they are creative forces shaping the malleable substance of reality. The invitation before you is to awaken to this sacred power, to become conscious of the creative force flowing through your every utterance. Let your speech rise from the depths of knowing rather than the shallows of wanting. Before we get into the book, comment I am ready to affirm your intention to the universe. Part 1. The Awakening of Speech. Chapter 1. The Spark Within Your Words. In a small village lived a woman named Millie, whose words flowed freely without thought of their power. Each morning brought a new litany of complaints about the weather, her neighbors, the rising cost of bread. And with each grievance voiced, her day spiraled deeper into shadow, as if the universe itself conspired to match her declarations of discontent. Then came the awakening. Through quiet observation, Millie noticed the pattern. Her spoken frustrations seemed to multiply the very things she protested against. When she bemoaned the lateness of the morning bus, delays grew longer. When she criticized the clouds, rain fell harder. The correlation between word and manifestation stands as one of the most potent forces within your grasp. Every utterance carries an energetic signature that ripples outward, touching not only those who hear it, but the very fabric of creation itself. Your voice does not merely describe reality, it shapes it, molds it, transforms it with each syllable spoken into the waiting air. This truth found perfect expression in the tale of Henry, the village gardener. His gentle hands tended flowers with the same care others might show precious gems. Yet it was his discovery of the power of spoken appreciation that transformed his modest garden into a symphony of color and life. Each morning, Henry walked among his blooms, whispering words of gratitude and encouragement. "How beautifully you grow," he would say to the roses. "What strength you show," to the sturdy stalks of lilies. The flowers responded with unprecedented vigor, reaching toward the sun with remarkable vitality. But in seasons when worry clouded Henry's mind, when his whispers turned to muttered concerns about drought or frost, the garden reflected his anxiety. Blooms became sparse, stems grew weak, as if the plants themselves absorbed his spoken fears. Your words hold this same creative force. Each phrase you utter sets in motion an energetic current that attracts corresponding circumstances. Speak of abundance, and abundance flows toward you. Voice gratitude, and reasons for thankfulness multiply. Begin now to harness this sacred power. Speak softly to your present moment, as you would to a cherished friend. Say to this day, "I welcome your gifts." To your circumstances, "I appreciate your lessons." To your challenges, "I embrace your opportunities for growth." Watch as the world around you begins to shift, responding to your words like flowers turning toward the sun. The universe listens not to the volume of your voice, but to the vibration of your truth. Let each word you speak carry the intention of peace, prosperity, and possibility. Now, practice speaking softly to your current moment as a loving friend, choosing sentences that honor peace and plenty, and feel how the outer life rearranges to echo your kindness. Chapter 2. Voice of the Present Moment. In the depths of night, Clara sat surrounded by scattered bills and half-written job applications. Her voice, barely a whisper, repeated familiar phrases. "I never have enough. Nothing works out. I can't see a way forward." With each utterance, the shadows in her apartment seemed to deepen, as if the very air absorbed her words of lack. The universe, ever-faithful mirror, had been reflecting these declarations with unwavering precision, yet within her dwelled an ancient knowing, waiting to emerge, the truth that her present moment voice held power to reshape reality itself. When you speak from now, your words become arrows of intention, piercing through the illusions of past regrets and future fears. The present moment amplifies your voice with a pure resonance that the universe recognizes instantly. It is here, in this eternal now, that your words transform from mere sounds into seeds of manifestation. Consider Lucas, who inherited a struggling bookshop in the old quarter. Each morning, as dawn painted the windows with golden light, he would stand among the towering shelves and declare with quiet certainty, "This moment is full." At first it felt strange, perhaps even false, but he persisted. He didn't deny the empty chairs or declining sales. He simply chose to speak from a place of presence rather than absence. Gradually, the energy of his shop transformed. Customers began lingering longer, drawn by an inexplicable sense of peace. Books seemed to find their way into the right hands. The universe responded not to his worries about tomorrow, but to his anchored declarations in the now. Your voice carries the power to either fragment or unify your experience. When you speak from past wounds or future anxieties, your words scatter like leaves in the wind. But when you root your speech in the present moment, each word becomes a bridge between intention and manifestation. The present moment is the only point from which genuine creation flows. It is here that your words gain the weight of truth, the authority of being. When you declare from now, you speak with the voice of existence itself. Sacred practice. Begin each day by sitting in stillness for 3 breaths. Then, speak these words aloud. In this moment, I am complete. Allow each word to resonate fully before continuing your day. Practice speaking to each moment as if it were a sacred conversation between you and the universe. Notice how your energy shifts when your words align with the present, rather than struggling against it. Let your voice become an instrument of now, playing the melody of abundance rather than the discord of lack. Chapter 3. Magnetic Truth. Daisy stood before her mirror each morning, rehearsing compliments she would dispense throughout the day. "You look amazing," she would practice saying, though her heart whispered otherwise. "Your idea's brilliant," she would declare, while doubting every word. Like countless others, she believed that pleasing words would please the universe, yet with each false praise, her spirit grew dimmer. The law of attraction responds not to the words alone, but to the unified field of your being. When speech and spirit align, they create a singular frequency, pure and potent. When they conflict, they generate interference that blocks manifestation. Your words must emerge from the wellspring of truth within you. In the ancient marketplace of souls, truth has always been the only currency the universe accepts. False words, no matter how sweet, bounce off the walls of creation like hollow echoes. But truth, even if simple, penetrates the very fabric of reality. Consider Ralph, the clockmaker whose tiny shop housed more dust than customers. While others advised him to abandon his trade, he stood amid his beloved timepieces and spoke with unwavering conviction. "These works of art bring order to chaos. Through them, I serve." He didn't praise his empty store or deny his struggles. Instead, he voiced the deeper truth of his purpose. As weeks passed, something shifted. Time itself seemed to bend in Ralph's favor. Collectors began discovering his shop. Those who appreciated fine craftsmanship found their way to his door. His authentic words had aligned with the universal frequency of truth, and abundance naturally followed. The universe never demands grandiose declarations. It asks only for the crystal clarity of honest expression. When your words ring true, they carry the weight of natural law. Each genuine statement becomes a seed planted in fertile soil, while false words scatter in the wind. Sacred practice. For one complete day, speak only what resonates as absolutely true within your heart. Before each utterance, pause to feel its authenticity. If doubt clouds your words, remain silent. Let your speech become as precise as a master watchmaker's tools, cutting through illusion to reveal what is real. Notice how this practice alters the quality of your day, as if reality itself responds differently to the sound of truth. Chapter 4. The Sound of Gratitude. When Elsie began counting small blessings aloud, her path to abundance revealed itself with gentle clarity. Each morning she would name the gifts already present in her life: the warmth of sunlight through her window, the melody of bird song, the fresh air filling her lungs. As these spoken appreciations flowed from her lips, the weight of isolation lifted from her shoulders like morning mist dissipating in the dawn. The law of focus teaches us an eternal truth. What you speak of expands in your experience. Your words are magnetic frequencies drawing more of their kind into manifestation. When you voice gratitude, you align with the abundant nature of the universe itself. This alignment opens channels through which greater blessings naturally flow. Consider how spoken appreciation redirects the very fabric of reality. Each thankful word sends ripples through the quantum field, transforming resistance into receptivity. Where there was once stagnation, energy begins to move. Where there was limitation, possibilities emerge. This is not mere positive thinking. It is the activation of universal law. Ray, a humble fisherman, discovered this wisdom through his daily practice. Even when his nets came up empty, he would stand at the bow of his small boat and thank the sea for its vastness, the wind for its presence, the sky for its beauty. Others mocked his ritual of gratitude during lean times, yet within a week, the very waters that seemed barren began teeming with life. His nets strained with abundant catches, as if the ocean itself responded to his spoken appreciation. The universe mirrors back to us the vibration we consistently hold. When we speak from lack, we anchor ourselves in scarcity. When we voice gratitude, we attune to the frequency of abundance that perpetually surrounds us. This is the power of thankful words. They bridge the gap between where we are and where we wish to be. Practice for aligning with abundance. Find a quiet moment each day to speak your blessings aloud. Begin with what is already present in your life, no matter how small it may seem. Let your thankful words flow naturally, filling the air with their transformative power. Feel how each expression of gratitude shifts your energy toward greater receptivity. Continue this practice until you sense your reality beginning to glow with new possibility. Watch as your spoken appreciation creates fertile ground for miracles to manifest in your daily experience. Chapter 5. Speaking in Alignment. In the whispers of ancient wisdom, a truth emerges about the sacred harmony between thought and speech. Lottie's tale mirrors a pattern seen countless times across the generations: the misalignment between the dreams we hold in our hearts and the words that flow from our lips. In quiet moments, Lottie would envision herself as a successful entrepreneur, her business thriving and prosperous. Yet in conversations with friends, she spoke of market difficulties, competitive pressures, and financial strain. Each negative word created ripples in the universal field, contradicting her deeper desires. Like many before her, she discovered that the universe responds not to our wishes alone, but to the consistent vibration we maintain. The law of attraction operates with perfect precision. It cannot distinguish between the words we speak in hope and those we utter in fear. Each syllable carries equal creative power, shaping the ethereal substance from which tomorrow's reality emerges. When your speech contradicts your desires, you create resistance in the very fabric of manifestation. Floyd, driving his bus through city streets, understood this principle intuitively. Before beginning each route, he would silently affirm the inherent goodness in every passenger he would meet. "Today, I serve kind souls," he would declare with quiet certainty. This simple practice transformed his experience. Tense situations dissolved before they could arise. Passengers smiled more readily, and his routes flowed with unexpected ease. The universe, ever responsive to clear signals, orchestrated reality to match his spoken expectations. This ancient truth reveals itself. Your words are seeds planted in the fertile soil of infinite possibility. Each complaint nurtures the very conditions you wish to overcome. Each expression of gratitude cultivates the garden of abundance you seek to create. The power lies in aligning every utterance with your highest vision. When you speak of lack, you tune your vibration to scarcity. When you describe limitation, you draw boundaries around your potential. But when you voice abundance, prosperity responds. When you speak of joy, happiness hastens to your door. Sacred practice. Begin each morning by stating 3 things you choose to manifest, speaking them as if they already exist. Throughout your day, guard your words as precious jewels, releasing only those that resonate with your desired reality. Before sleep, speak gratitude for the abundance that surrounds you, even if it has not yet taken physical form. Let your voice become an instrument of creation, playing only the notes that harmonize with your dreams. The universe awaits your aligned expression, ready to echo back the reality you consistently speak into being. Chapter 6. The Silence Between Words. In the depths of an ancient valley, Bonnie lived surrounded by endless chatter. Words spilled from her lips like water from a broken vessel, filling every moment with sound to ward off the emptiness she dreaded. Yet with each passing day her energy waned. Her manifestations grew weaker and her desires seemed to drift further from her grasp. The universe operates in a sacred rhythm of sound and silence. Just as music finds its power in the spaces between notes, your words gain their manifestation strength in the moments of stillness that cradle them. When you fill every second with speech, you leave no room for the divine to whisper back its wisdom. Think of your words as seeds planted in the fertile soil of silence. Each one needs space to take root, to grow, to flourish. When you scatter too many seeds too quickly, they compete for nourishment, and none may thrive. Similarly, when you crowd your intentions with constant chatter, you dilute their power to manifest. Orville, an artist whose paintings seemed to breathe with life itself, understood this truth. Before each stroke of his brush, he would sit in complete stillness, allowing the canvas to speak to his soul. In these moments of quiet communion, his art transcended mere pigments and became portals of pure energy. Those who gazed upon his works felt the peace he had woven into every line and shadow. The law of attraction responds not to the quantity of your words, but to their quality. When you speak from a place of inner silence, your intentions carry the weight of the universe itself. Each word becomes a focused beam of creative energy, undiluted by the static of mindless chatter. Consider the dawn. It does not announce itself with fanfare, yet its silent arrival transforms the world. Your manifesting voice must rise like the sun, emerging from the depth of silence with natural authority and grace. Ancient practice. The sacred pause. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Sit comfortably and begin by observing your breath. Before speaking any intention or affirmation, rest in complete silence for 3 full breaths. Feel the power building in this stillness. When you finally speak your word or intention, let it emerge naturally from this pool of silence. Speak only once, with quiet authority. Return to silence for 3 more breaths, allowing your words to ripple through the quantum field without interference. Practice this pattern of silent speech silence throughout your day, treating each word as a precious seed planted in the fertile soil of the universe. Chapter 7. Language of Feeling. In the gentle dawn, June sat cross-legged on her meditation cushion, dutifully reciting her daily affirmations. I am abundance. I am success. I am joy. Yet the words fell flat, tumbling into the morning air like stones into still water. Each phrase, though perfectly crafted, lacked the vital spark that transforms mere sounds into seeds of creation. The universe responds not to the mechanical repetition of words, but to the living current of feeling that flows through them. When you speak without emotion, your declarations become empty vessels, unable to carry your intentions into the field of infinite possibility. It is the feeling tone of your words that creates the magnetic force of attraction. Consider the wisdom hidden within your own experience. When someone speaks to you with genuine warmth, their words penetrate deeper than those delivered with cold precision. This same principle governs the language of manifestation. Your emotions are the electricity that energizes your speech, sending ripples through the quantum fabric of existence. In a small bakery in a quiet town, Clyde understood this truth without ever studying spiritual texts. Each morning, before opening his shop, he would stand in his kitchen, inhaling the aroma of fresh possibilities. With eyes closed and a smile playing on his lips, he would declare, "Today smells like success." His words carried the genuine joy of anticipation, the love of his craft, and the warmth of service to others. By noon, his shelves would be empty, customers drawn not just to his baked goods, but to the energy he had infused into every loaf and pastry. The potency of Clyde's declaration lay not in the phrase itself, but in the authentic delight that animated it. Where mechanical affirmations push against universal flow, emotionally charged words dance with it. The difference is as vast as that between a painted flame and a real one. Only one holds the power to transform. The sacred practice. Close your eyes and place your hand upon your heart. Feel its steady rhythm beneath your palm. Now speak your truth not from your throat, but from this pulse point of authentic feeling. Let each word carry the warmth of your genuine emotion. Whether you whisper gratitude or declare abundance, ensure your voice resonates with the vibration of your heart's knowing. The universe recognizes and responds not to the volume of your voice, but to the depth of your feeling. Practice this heart-centered speech until your words naturally arise carrying the current of true emotion. Chapter 8. Words that Heal. In ages past, a truth lay hidden among mountain sages. Words hold the power to heal or to harm, to bind or to release. Mabel carried this burden unknowingly, her voice weighted with the stones of past hurts. Each morning she would wake to speak of betrayals long gone, of wounds that time should have mended. Yet her words kept these injuries fresh, as if painting them anew with each bitter utterance. The universe responds not to what you wish to release, but to what you continue to hold through speech. When your voice carries the vibration of old pain, it calls forth more experiences that match this frequency. This is why those who speak of past hurts often find themselves trapped in cycles of similar situations. Their words become magnets, drawing more of what they wish to leave behind. Walter's tale speaks to this truth. For years, he cursed the misfortunes that had befallen him, his voice sharp with blame and regret. Each complaint reinforced the energy of lack, Each bitter word strengthened the chains of his circumstances. Until one day, sitting in his garden, he witnessed how flowers turned toward light rather than dwelling in shadow. In that moment of clarity, Walter understood the ancient wisdom, that blessing what has wounded you transforms not just your words, but your entire vibrational field. He began speaking to his misfortunes as though they were disguised teachers. "Thank you for showing me my strength," he would say to memories of hardship. "I bless the lessons you brought," he whispered to past disappointments. As his words shifted, so did the light around him. People noticed a new warmth in his presence. Opportunities appeared where before stood only walls. He had discovered what mystics have known through ages, that forgiveness spoken aloud becomes a key unlocking doors long thought sealed. The true alchemy lies not in denying what has hurt you, but in transforming how you speak of it. Each blessing offered to an old wound begins to dissolve its power over your present moment. Your voice becomes medicine, each word a drop of healing falling into the waters of your life. Sacred practice. Find a quiet space where you can be alone with your heart. Close your eyes and bring to mind something that has caused you pain. Speak these words aloud with gentle intention. I bless you. I release you. I transform you into wisdom. Continue this practice daily, watching how your heart lightens with each sacred utterance. Chapter 9. Command of Calm. Once, in a small seaside town, Nora rushed through her mornings muttering, "I'm so busy, there's never enough time." Each declaration seemed to summon more chaos into her world. Meetings overlapped, deadlines collided, and unexpected tasks materialized like unwanted gifts from the universe. The more she spoke of busyness, the more life conspired to prove her right. The sacred truth whispers that your words carry commands to the invisible realm. When you declare chaos, chaos responds with devoted enthusiasm. When you announce scarcity of time, the universe arranges events to validate your proclamation. This is not punishment, but perfect obedience to your vibrational instruction. Vernon, delivering mail along his daily route, discovered this wisdom through simple observation. His fellow carriers complained of overwhelming schedules, while he walked his path saying, "There is time for everything." Soon, traffic lights turned green as he approached. Residents appeared at just the right moment to sign for packages. Even the weather seemed to arrange itself around his deliveries. The law works with mathematical precision. Speak of rush, and circumstances compress. Speak of sufficiency, and events arrange themselves with elegant timing. Your voice becomes the conductor's wand, directing the symphony of your day's unfolding. This ancient knowledge reveals that time itself responds to the quality of your commands. Sharp, anxious words create sharp, anxious experiences. Gentle, assured statements invite life to flow with natural grace. The universe mirrors not your schedule, but your state of being, as expressed through language. When you declare, "I am at peace with time," you transmit a frequency that organizes reality differently. Your words become instructions for universal forces to create spaciousness where there was compression, flow where there was friction. The practice. Stand in your morning's first light. Feel the eternal presence that exists beyond clocks and calendars. Now speak these words with the authority of one who commands time itself. There is time for everything I need to accomplish. Let your voice carry the calm assurance of natural timing. Repeat this declaration whenever haste attempts to enter your field. Watch as your schedule begins to breathe, as events polish themselves into perfect sequence, as the hours expand to embrace all that truly matters. Your words are restructuring time itself. Chapter 10. The Mirror of Declaration. The art of commanding calm lies not in forcing tranquility, but in allowing it to naturally arise through conscious speech. Your words are the architects of your experience, sculpting the very fabric of your daily reality with each utterance. Pearl discovered this truth through her own unconscious creation. Each morning, she would wake and immediately begin her litany. I'm already behind. There's too much to do. I'll never catch up. As the sun traced its arc across the sky, her prophecies fulfilled themselves with uncanny precision. Deadlines would cluster, unexpected tasks would materialize, and time itself seemed to compress into suffocating moments. The universe, you see, does not judge your words. It simply responds to them with perfect loyalty. When you declare rush, you receive rush. When you proclaim overwhelm, you attract more to be overwhelmed by. This is the subtle power of the law of attraction working through your speech. Leonard's story illuminates this principle from the opposite perspective. His small flower shop sat quietly on a corner, barely noticed by passing crowds. Yet instead of lamenting his circumstances, he began each day by walking among his blooms, softly stating, "Beauty multiplies here." He would arrange his flowers while murmuring, "Joy attracts joy," and each person who enters finds exactly what they seek. At first, nothing seemed to change. But Leonard maintained his practice, allowing his words to settle into the atmosphere of his shop like gentle mist. Within weeks, customers began to linger longer, often remarking on the peaceful ambiance. They brought friends, who brought others. Soon his once quiet shop hummed with appreciation and activity. The beauty he had declared multiplied exactly as he had spoken it into being. This mirrors the ancient truth. Your voice carries creative force. Each statement you make is a seed planted in the fertile soil of possibility. The question becomes not whether these seeds will grow, but what kind of garden you wish to tend. When you speak of rush, hurry, and scarcity of time, you cultivate a garden of chaos. When you declare peace, sufficiency, and spaciousness, you nurture an oasis of calm. The choice is yours with every word. Practice. Stand in your space each morning and declare with gentle authority, "I move in perfect timing. Everything unfolds in divine order. Peace flows through my day." Speak these words not as desperate wishes, but as calm statements of what is. Let your voice carry the certainty of one who knows that spoken truth becomes living reality. Continue this practice for 21 days, allowing your declarations to reshape your experience until calm becomes your natural state of being. Remember, the power lies not in the volume of your voice, but in the unwavering certainty of your tone. Speak as though what you declare is already true, for in the realm of infinite possibility it is. Part 2. The Conversation of Creation. Chapter 11. The Music of Intention. In ancient times, a wandering minstrel discovered that songs of abundance brought forth wealth, while melodies of lack led to empty bowls. Through generations, this wisdom whispered itself forward. The universe moves to the music of your words. Think of your speech as notes in the grand symphony of creation. Each phrase you utter sends ripples through the quantum field, like stones dropped in still water. The vibration of your words creates patterns, patterns that the universe, in its infinite wisdom, mirrors back to you with perfect precision. When you speak with melodic intention, you tap into the primordial rhythm of manifestation. This is not mere coincidence. It is the law of attraction expressing itself through the harmony of sound. Your words are more than communication. They are cosmic instructions, setting the tempo for your reality's dance. Consider Hazel, who began each morning with songful declarations. Without knowing the power she wielded, she noticed her days growing brighter, her path smoother. The universe responded not just to her words, but to the musical certainty with which she spoke them. Her melody became a magnetic force, drawing forth experiences that matched her joyful vibration. The wisdom reveals itself further through Marvin, the tailor. His workshop transformed when he discovered the power of harmonious affirmation. As he hummed his intentions of precision and excellence, each stitch aligned with perfect grace. His garments became known throughout the land not just for their quality, but for the subtle energy they carried, the energy of purposeful creation set to music. Your voice holds this same creative power. When you infuse your words with melodic intention, you speak the language that creation best understands. It is not the volume, but the vibration that matters. A whispered truth, sung from the heart, carries more power than a shouted demand. Sacred practice. Find a quiet moment at dawn or dusk. Begin by humming a single note that resonates with your heart. Then, speak your intentions as though they were lyrics to the universe's favorite song. Let your words rise and fall naturally, creating a melody of manifestation. Continue this practice for 7 days, noticing how reality begins to harmonize with your spoken song. Remember, the universe doesn't just hear your words, it feels their music. Chapter 12. Frequency of Faith. In the quiet dawn hours, Edith sat at her kitchen table muttering what seemed like reasonable concerns. The economy isn't favorable for new ventures, and success requires connections I don't have. Though her words wore the mask of wisdom, they carried the hidden tremor of fear. Each statement, though logical on its surface, wove a web of limitation around her dreams. The universe responds not to the cleverness of our reasoning, but to the power of our certainty. When you speak from doubt, even educated, well-researched doubt, you command the forces of creation to manifest more reasons for hesitation. The law of attraction cannot distinguish between protective caution and self-imposed barriers. It simply amplifies the predominant vibration of your words. In a small town where dreams often went to sleep, Baxter worked at the local hardware store. Unlike others who spoke of limitations, he discovered a simple truth. Expectations, clearly voiced, reshape reality. Each morning, before opening the shop, he would state with gentle authority, "I expect kindness today." No fanfare, no complex affirmations, just pure unwavering belief wrapped in 5 simple words. At first, nothing seemed different, but gradually, as though the universe had been waiting for this clear signal, every interaction began to shift. Grumpy customers softened their tone. Rushed business people paused to share a smile. Even the typically stern bank manager would stop by with friendly advice about growing his savings. The power lay not in Baxter's words alone, but in the absolute conviction that hummed beneath them. He didn't hope for kindness or wish for it. He expected it as naturally as sunrise. His certainty became a tuning fork, adjusting the frequency of each encounter to match his spoken truth. This teaching unveils a vital secret. The law of attraction awakens not to the poetry of your words, but to the unwavering faith within them. When you speak with the calm assurance of one who knows, rather than the desperate energy of one who needs, the universe bends to match your certainty. Sacred practice. Begin each day by speaking 3 truths you know beyond doubt. Let your voice carry the same certainty you feel when stating your name. Hold each declaration in your heart until you sense its vibration aligning with your deepest knowing. As doubts arise, neither fight nor embrace them. Simply return to speaking your chosen truths with quiet, unshakable faith. Continue this practice until your words naturally hum with the frequency of absolute expectancy. Chapter 13. The Gentle Authority. In the depths of a small-town library, Ivy stood before her mirror each morning, shouting affirmations with increasing desperation. "I am successful. I am powerful." Her voice strained against the walls, yet her circumstances remained unchanged, leaving her more frustrated with each passing day. The universe responds not to volume, but to vibration. When you force your will upon existence, you create resistance in the very field you wish to influence. True power flows like water, gentle, persistent, and absolutely certain of its path. Within this same town lived Wilbur, a librarian who discovered the secret of commanding reality through whispered truth. Each morning, before opening the library doors, he would walk through the quiet aisles and softly state, "Peace governs this space." His words carried no desperation, no doubt, only serene certainty. Soon even the most restless visitors found themselves speaking in hushed tones, their movements becoming more graceful, their demeanor more composed. The library transformed into a sanctuary of calm, not through rules or enforcement, but through Wilbur's quiet authority. The law of attraction responds to the frequency of knowing. When you speak as though reality has already yielded to your vision, you align with the creative force of the universe. Force creates friction. Gentleness creates flow. Your words need not rise above a whisper to command the cosmos. In fact, it is often in your softest moments that you access your greatest power. The universe leans in to hear the quiet voice that speaks with certainty, while it turns away from the shouts of doubt disguised as strength. Let your voice carry the gentle authority of the moon pulling tides, of gravity holding planets in orbit, of dawn painting the sky. These forces need no announcement. Their power lies in their unwavering certainty. Practice the whispered command. Find a quiet moment at dawn or dusk. Speak your truth in the softest voice possible while maintaining absolute inner certainty. Let your whisper carry the weight of mountains, the depth of oceans. Feel authority bloom naturally in your calmest tone, until even your silence becomes a command that the universe rushes to obey. Notice how reality begins to arrange itself around your gentlest words, proving that true power needs no force, only unshakable knowing. Before we get into the next chapter, you can download a free ebook version of this audiobook using the link in the pinned comment below this video. Chapter 14. Vocabulary of Prosperity. In a small coastal village, Lulu counted her coins each evening, muttering about rising costs and mounting expenses. With each worried word about scarcity, her shop's income seemed to shrink, as if the very energy of lack drew more lack into being. Your words weave the fabric of your financial reality. When you speak of costs, bills, and expenses, you unconsciously program your vibrational field to resonate with the frequency of depletion. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, simply matches your dominant vibration. Through your speech, you either open or close the channels through which abundance flows. The ancient mystery schools taught that prosperity responds not to need but to celebration. Wealth flows toward those who speak its language fluently, not with desperate pleading, but with serene acknowledgement of its eternal presence. Every time you voice concern about money, you temporarily suspend its natural inclination to multiply in your experience. Chester, who owned a modest grocery store in the heart of town, discovered this truth through an unexpected insight. Rather than lamenting his monthly bills, he began referring to them as circulations, opportunities for energy to flow through his business and return multiplied. He spoke of expenses as investments in flow and costs as exchanges of value. Within months, his ledger showed a remarkable transformation. The same numbers that once brought him anxiety now sparked excitement about the movement of abundance through his life. The universe responds not to the surface meaning of words, but to their underlying vibrational signature. When you shift from the language of lack to the dialect of abundance, you alter the very foundation of your magnetic attraction to wealth. Money, being energy in motion, naturally gravitates toward those who speak its native tongue, the language of endless circulation and joyful exchange. Ancient wisdom practice. Sit in peaceful contemplation each morning. Take 3 deep breaths and begin replacing phrases of limitation with words of abundance. Transform "I can't afford" into "I choose to invest." Convert "it costs too much" into "this represents value flowing through my life." Change monthly expenses to opportunities for circulation. Continue this practice for 7 days, noting how your relationship with money begins to shift from tension to trust, from worry to welcome. Chapter 15. Resonance of Joy. In the heart of prosperity lies a simple truth. The words you choose shape the abundance you receive. When Sadie walked through life with sighs upon her lips, each exhalation of discontent wove a web of limitation around her circumstances. Her shoulders carried the weight of scarcity consciousness, expressed through phrases like, "I can't afford," and "it's too expensive." Yet within her dwelled an untapped wellspring of joy, waiting to transform her reality. One morning, while watching children play in the park, their laughter pierced her habitual gloom. Something awakened in her spirit, a remembrance that joy multiplies itself through the law of vibrational resonance. Each giggle from the children seemed to attract more delight, as if happiness were a magnet, drawing its likeness from the invisible realm. The universe responds to the frequency of joy with mathematical precision. Like attracts like, and the vibration of genuine laughter sends ripples through the quantum field, orchestrating circumstances to mirror that elevated state. This principle found perfect expression through Horace, an elderly pianist whose story illuminates the power of joyful expression. Horace understood that his piano was more than wood and strings. It was a partner in creation. Each morning, before touching the keys, he would share a joke with his instrument, treating it as a beloved friend. "Why did the piano go to the dentist?" he would ask with a twinkle in his eye. "Because its keys were yellowing." His laughter would fill the room, infusing the very air with lightness. What seemed like mere whimsy carried profound creative power. As Horace continued this practice, something remarkable occurred. His audiences grew from handful to hundreds. People said his music carried a special quality, a sparkle of joy that touched their souls. His playful communion with his instrument had altered the very frequency of his music, making it irresistible to those who heard it. Joy does not merely attract more joy, it instructs the cosmos in the language of abundance. Every laugh, every moment of delight becomes a command for more of the same. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, recognizes the vibration of joy as the highest expression of prosperity consciousness. The practice. Begin each day by finding something that brings genuine delight, no matter how small. Let your laughter ring out freely, knowing it carries creative power. Speak words of joy about your current circumstances, regardless of appearances. Tell a joke to your morning coffee, smile at your reflection, or dance while doing chores. Make mirth your constant companion, and watch as the universe mirrors your joy with cascading blessings. Chapter 16. The Whisper of Surrender. In a small village among rolling hills, Flora paced her garden daily, commanding her flowers to bloom. With each forceful declaration, she watched her precious blooms wither instead of flourish. Her story mirrors the hearts of many who grasp too tightly at their desires, unknowingly suffocating the very dreams they wish to nurture. The universe operates through an exquisite balance of intention and release. When you clutch your desires with desperate hands, you create resistance in the very fabric of manifestation. Your words, though powerful, require space to echo through the chambers of creation. Like music that needs pause between notes to form melody, your intentions need room to breathe. Roland, the village potter, discovered this truth through clay. Each morning, he would enter his workshop with grand designs, yet his masterpieces emerged only when he whispered, "Let the clay decide." His hands became channels rather than controllers, and the clay responded with forms more beautiful than his mind could have planned. The universe moved through him because he created space for its wisdom. This teaching reveals the paradox of manifestation. Your power lies not in control, but in conscious surrender. Speaking your truth into the universe requires both the courage to declare and the wisdom to release. When you plant a seed, you do not stand guard demanding it grow faster. You water it, trust the soil, and allow nature's intelligence to unfold. Your words carry creative force, yet this force must dance with divine timing. Notice how nature never rushes. Flowers bloom precisely when conditions align. Rivers flow at their own pace, and seasons change through gradual transition. Similarly, your manifestations materialize not through forced urgency, but through aligned timing. Sacred practice. Find a quiet space where you can speak freely. Voice your deepest desires clearly and with feeling, as if sharing them with a trusted friend. Then perform the ancient practice of divine release. Take a deep breath, and as you exhale, imagine your words floating up like lanterns into the night sky. Say softly, "I trust in perfect timing," and feel the peace of knowing the universe orchestrates all things beautifully. Repeat this practice whenever attachment to outcomes creates tension in your heart. Remember that surrender is not resignation, but rather the highest form of trust. It is the understanding that while you are the author of your intentions, you are also part of a greater story unfolding with infinite wisdom. Chapter 17. Speaking to Energy. In ages past, wise ones knew that all matter possessed consciousness. Their teaching endures. Every object, every surface, every particle vibrates in response to human intention. This ancient truth now unfolds through Opal's awakening. Each morning, Opal entered her workshop with frustration heavy on her tongue. When tools slipped from her grasp or materials warped unexpectedly, she hurled blame into the air like arrows. "These useless things," she would cry, unaware that her words were programming reality's response. Her creations emerged twisted, reflecting the discord of her speech. Yet wisdom often arrives in whispers. One dawn, as sunlight painted her workbench gold, Opal witnessed how light danced differently upon loved objects, how her grandmother's old silver thimble gleamed with special warmth, how her favorite pencil seemed to find her hand. In that moment, understanding bloomed. Matter itself responds to the energy of words. The universe operates through vibration, every atom singing its own note in the cosmic symphony. Your speech either harmonizes with this song or creates dissonance. When you address the physical world with reverence, its very substance begins to align with your intention. Harold, a gifted engineer, embodied this truth without fanfare. Before beginning any project, he would touch each tool with gentle appreciation. "Thank you for helping me create," he would murmur, and his fingers would move with uncanny precision. Machines seemed to purr under his touch, and solutions appeared with remarkable ease. His colleagues attributed his success to expertise, but Harold knew better. He had learned the language of matter itself. This wisdom carries through to your own sphere of creation. Every object in your presence is not mere stuff, but conscious energy awaiting direction. The chair that supports you, the cup that holds your drink, the walls that shelter you, all respond to the vibration of your acknowledgement. The door that seems stuck may simply need your gentle request to open. The computer that appears to malfunction might be reflecting your frustrated expectations. The garden that flourishes does so in response to loving words whispered over seedlings. Ancient practice of material harmony. Begin each day by blessing the objects that serve you. Touch them with intention. Speak to them with gratitude. Say thank you to your bed for its rest, your clothes for their warmth, your tools for their service. Notice how your environment softens, how resistance melts away when you treat matter as ally rather than obstacle. This is not mere ritual. It is the restoration of sacred dialogue between consciousness and form. Let your voice become a bridge between spirit and matter, allowing gratitude to weave a magnetic field of cooperation. As you practice this communion, watch how the physical world begins to mirror your reverent attention, how objects find their way to your hand, how materials yield to your touch with newfound grace. This is the forgotten conversation, the holy exchange between awareness and form, between intention and manifestation. Through this practice you remember, all creation listens, all matter responds, all substance seeks harmony with the consciousness that addresses it with love. Chapter 18. Communion with the Unseen. In the depths of a sleepless night, Bee tossed and turned, her mind racing with questions about an important decision. She had grown accustomed to forcing answers through endless internal debate. Yet on this particular evening, as moonlight filtered through her window, she discovered a profound truth. The universe speaks most clearly in moments of surrender. The subtle whispers of guidance had always been present, like a gentle breeze carrying wisdom. But Bee's habit of mental arguing drowned out these delicate messages. Only when she finally released her grip on needing to know did clarity emerge with startling precision. When you resist the natural flow of intuitive knowing, you create static in the frequency of manifestation. Your inner voice, that quiet messenger of universal intelligence, cannot be heard above the noise of doubt and debate. The law of attraction works through this sacred partnership. Your conscious speech sends the call, and intuitive guidance reveals the path. Clifford understood this divine dialogue well. As a sailor who had navigated treacherous waters for decades, he learned to treat the stars as conscious companions rather than mere points of light. Each evening, he would stand at the helm, speaking softly to the heavens. "Show me the way, my friends," he would say, and then fall silent, allowing their ancient wisdom to filter through his awareness. Through this practice, Clifford discovered safe passages where other ships faltered. The stars seemed to whisper their secrets through subtle nudges and quiet knowing. His crew marveled at his uncanny ability to sense approaching storms or find calm waters. But Clifford knew he was simply participating in the eternal conversation between consciousness and creation. This sacred dialogue flows continuously through your experience. The universe responds not only to your spoken words, but to your willingness to listen. When you declare your intentions aloud, pause to receive the gentle guidance that follows. These subtle responses may arrive as sudden clarity, a feeling of rightness, or an unexpected sign that confirms your path. The quantum field is alive with intelligence, waiting to engage in this timeless exchange. Your role is to speak with clarity and listen with patience. Let your declarations ring out like bells across the cosmos, then rest in receptive silence as wisdom returns to you. Ancient practice. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Light a candle to represent the eternal flame of wisdom. Speak aloud your deepest question or intention, then sit in complete silence for several minutes. Notice any subtle feelings, images, or knowings that arise. Trust that the universe's response will come in its perfect way and time. Practice this dialogue daily, strengthening the bridge between speech and inner guidance. Remember, the law of attraction operates through this continuous exchange between your conscious declaration and the universe's gentle response. When you honor both sides of this sacred conversation, manifestation unfolds with grace and perfect timing. Chapter 19. Purity in Expression. In the quiet streets of an ancient market, a young merchant named Lena offered kind words to every passerby. "I hope you have a blessed day," she would say with a gentle smile. Yet beneath her courtesy, a subtle current of doubt tainted her well wishes. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, responded not to her careful phrasing, but to the hidden vibration of uncertainty that colored her speech. The wisdom of ages teaches that words carry two messages, their surface meaning and their deeper resonance. When you speak, the creative force of the universe attunes itself not to your careful grammar, but to the pure frequency of your conviction. Like water that cannot be both pure and clouded, speech cannot simultaneously carry faith and doubt. Eugene, a childhood teacher in a small village school, discovered this truth through years of patient observation. His students struggled until he noticed his own language pattern. "I hope they improve," he would think, unknowingly placing his desire in an uncertain future. The day he began saying, "I trust their brilliance," something shifted in the classroom atmosphere. His students' eyes brightened, their posture straightened, and their work improved dramatically. The universe had responded not to his position of authority, but to the clear, unwavering signal of his belief. Hidden complaint is still complaint, whether wrapped in politeness or disguised as concern. When you say, "At least things aren't worse," you command the universe to maintain a state of barely avoiding worse. When you declare, "I'm trying to stay positive," you anchor yourself in the eternal state of trying rather than being. The creative force responds to purity of signal, like a radio that receives clearest transmission on an uncluttered frequency. Your manifestations arrive most precisely when your words carry undiluted faith. Notice how often uncertainty sneaks into seemingly positive statements. "Things might work out. I'm getting better at this. Hopefully tomorrow will be good." Each qualifier dilutes the power of your command. Sacred practice. Sit in silence for a moment with paper before you. Write down 3 common phrases you use daily. Now, examine each for hidden doubt. Transform "I hope to succeed" into "I succeed." Change "Things are getting better" to "all is well." Replace "I'm working on patience" with "I am patient." Speak each new declaration aloud 3 times, feeling the difference in vibration between hoping and knowing. Let your words ring with the clarity of pure faith, free from the shadows of doubt or qualification. This practice, passed down through generations of those who understood the law of pure vibration, aligns your speech with the creative power of unwavering belief. Chapter 20. The Echo Returns. In the stillness before dawn, Nancy counted her blessings aloud, then paused, struck by how different they were from her complaints of seasons past. A truth unveiled itself. Every word circles back, completing its journey through time until it finds resonance with the speaker's present state of being. The ancient wisdom reveals that speech travels in cycles, like waves upon the infinite ocean of creation. Your declarations of yesterday shape the shores of your today, while your present voice molds tomorrow's landscape. This eternal dance between past and future converges in the now, where conscious speech holds the power to transform old echoes into new harmonies. Patrick, a skilled mechanic, discovered this truth in his small workshop. For years, his frustrated words had cursed the engines that refused his touch, each utterance of anger sending ripples through time. But wisdom found him through an old master who taught him the art of blessing broken things. As Patrick began speaking gratitude over rusted parts and twisted metal, a remarkable shift occurred. The very machines that once resisted his efforts began yielding their secrets, as if responding to the new frequency of his voice. His transformation teaches us that we need not remain bound by previous declarations. When you elevate your speech to match your desired vibration, you create a new resonance that calls forth matching circumstances. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, always seeks harmony between your words and your reality. The law operates with mathematical precision. Each blessing multiplies, each curse eventually returns, each word seeks its vibrational twin in the physical world. Yet within this perfect system lies the power of redemption, for new speech can transform old echoes, transmuting previous discord into present harmony. Those who understand this principle learn to speak as though their desired reality already exists, knowing that today's clear tone will ripple forward, replacing yesterday's confusion with tomorrow's clarity. Your voice becomes the tuning fork by which reality adjusts its frequency. The practice of echo alignment. Find a quiet space at sunrise or sunset. Close your eyes and imagine your words as waves of light, traveling outward through time. Now speak these words with gentle authority. I bless all words I've ever spoken, transforming their echoes into harmony. What returns to me now carries only love's resonance. Each blessing I speak multiplies, each gratitude circles back amplified. I align my voice with the highest good, knowing that what I declare today shapes tomorrow's dawn. Repeat this practice for 7 days, allowing your new frequency to establish itself in the universal field. Trust that as your words elevate, so too will their returning echoes reflect your transformed consciousness. Part 3. The Mastery of Manifested Speech. Chapter 21. The Throne of Awareness. In the quietude of understanding, Velma discovered a truth as ancient as breath itself. Each morning she had filled her moments with a stream of words, yet something felt misaligned until she realized it wasn't the words themselves that held power, but the state of being from which they emerged. The cosmos responds not to mere sound, but to the quality of awareness behind each utterance. When you speak from scattered thoughts, your words scatter like seeds in the wind. But when you speak from the depths of presence, each word carries the weight of universal law. Milton, whose piano studio had once been chaos of competing egos and discordant personalities, stumbled upon this wisdom through necessity. His ensemble teetered on collapse until he discovered that his state of consciousness shaped the entire room's harmony. Before each rehearsal, he would center himself in pure awareness, allowing his declaration, "Harmony reigns," to emerge not as hope or demand, but as recognition of what already was. Within weeks, his musicians found themselves naturally aligning, their music flowing as one river of sound. The universe's response to Milton's shift wasn't coincidence. It was law. When awareness takes its rightful place as the speaker, words transform from mere vibrations into divine commands. This is the forgotten art of true speech, letting consciousness itself do the speaking. Your words are not separate from your state of being. They are the bridges between inner awareness and outer manifestation. Most speak from the surface of thought, wondering why their affirmations lack power. But those who have awakened to deeper truth know it is presence that infuses speech with creative force. Ancient practice. The royal decree. Sit in silence for several minutes, allowing your attention to rest in pure awareness. Notice the space from which thoughts arise. When you feel centered in this vast stillness, speak your intention aloud. Let each word emerge naturally from this space of presence, as though the universe itself were speaking through you. Do not rush. Let each word carry the full weight of your conscious awareness. Practice this daily, especially before making important declarations or setting intentions. Remember, it is not the volume or repetition of your words that commands reality, but the depth of awareness from which they spring. When consciousness takes its throne, even a whisper becomes law. Chapter 22. The Word becomes flesh. Ethel spent countless hours visualizing kindness flowing through her neighborhood, yet nothing changed. Each morning she would sit in meditation, picturing waves of compassion touching every home. But the arguments next door continued, and the unfriendly faces remained. Then one dawn, as sunshine spilled across her garden, she understood. The universe awaits voice. Like a masterful orchestra conductor standing before silent musicians, her thoughts needed the baton of speech to begin the symphony of manifestation. The voice carries creative force that thought alone cannot wield. When you speak, you command the elements themselves to arrange according to your declaration. Your words become the bridge between the formless realm of possibility and the solid ground of experience. Gerald, who ran a small inn at the edge of a busy town, discovered this truth through necessity. His establishment often housed travelers of conflicting temperaments, their clashing energies disrupting the peaceful atmosphere he desired. Night after night he would imagine tranquility, yet tensions persisted. Everything shifted when he began speaking peace into existence. Each morning, walking the corridors of his inn, he would softly but firmly announce, "Welcome peace." He spoke it to empty rooms before guests arrived. He whispered it to the gardens and courtyard. He declared it in the dining hall before breakfast was served. Within days, a remarkable transformation occurred. Quarrels dissolved before they could ignite. Guests who might have clashed found themselves engaged in friendly conversation. The very air seemed to carry a soothing quality that even the most tired travelers remarked upon. The physical world eagerly awaits your spoken instruction. It is not enough to hold beautiful visions in the silence of your mind. You must give them voice, must let them ride upon the waves of sound into manifestation. The universe responds not to what you wish for, but to what you declare with the full authority of your being. Sacred practice. Arise before dawn tomorrow. Stand in your chosen space and speak your vision into the quiet air. Begin with, "I now declare," and voice exactly what you see coming into form. Speak with the serene authority of one who knows their words create reality. Continue this practice for 7 days, letting your proclamations grow stronger with each sunrise. Your ideas, given the wings of speech, will take flight into physical form. Chapter 23. Alchemy of Contrast. In the depths of a winter morning, Minnie stood before her mirror, listing grievances like a ledger of pain. Each setback earned a harsh word, each disappointment a bitter pronouncement. Yet as seasons turned, she witnessed how her strongest curses returned as teachers, bearing gifts wrapped in thorns. The universe speaks through contrast. When you rail against what appears unwanted, you blur the signal of your true desire. Your words either sharpen or soften the edges of experience. Every syllable trains reality in how to respond. Sherman discovered this truth over a weathered chessboard. Where once he had cursed each lost piece, he began to whisper, "Thank you for showing me where to grow stronger." His opponents noticed the shift first. the calm that settled over his movements, the subtle smile that greeted their strongest plays. Soon his ranking climbed, not because he studied more, but because he had learned to speak to challenge as an ally rather than an enemy. What you resist through speech persists in circumstance. The law holds that contrast exists not to torment, but to refine, like a sculptor's chisel revealing the masterpiece within marble. When you meet unwanted circumstances with grateful words, you transform their energy from obstacle to opportunity. Your language programs how reality presents its lessons. Speak to setbacks with reverence, and they become stepping stones. Address challenges with appreciation, and they reveal hidden passages toward your dreams. The universe responds not to your frustration, but to your understanding that every experience serves your evolution. This wisdom echoes through time. Those who thank the storm find shelter in its eye. Those who bless the darkness discover light's subtle paths. Your words are the alchemy that transmutes lead into gold, but only when spoken from acceptance rather than rejection. Sacred practice. Sit quietly with 3 recent challenges. For each one, speak these words aloud. I bless you as my teacher. Through you, my desire grows clearer. In accepting you, I transform you. Notice how this shifts your energy from resistance to receptivity. Continue this practice daily, allowing gratitude to reshape your relationship with contrast until every obstacle becomes a gateway to greater understanding. Chapter 24. Alignment through compassion. In the heart of an ancient marketplace, a merchant known for his brutal honesty drove customers away with cutting words, though every statement he spoke rang true. His scales never lied, but his voice carried daggers that wounded even the most resilient souls. Each evening, he counted his dwindling coins, wondering why truth brought him such solitude. Truth without grace is like winter without spring, necessary perhaps, but harsh in its singular season. The universe responds not merely to the accuracy of our words, but to their vibrational quality. When you speak, the ripples of your tone travel further than your meaning, touching shores you cannot see. This is why identical words, spoken with different hearts, create vastly different outcomes. Consider how sunlight and lightning both illuminate. One nurtures life while the other demands respect through fear. Your truth can either warm or scorch depending on the vessel of your voice. The law of attraction amplifies not just what you say, but how you say it. When truth flows through compassion, it becomes medicine. When forced through judgment, it becomes poison. Preston, who presided over his courtroom for 30 years, discovered this wisdom through experience. His verdicts, though fair, left both victims and offenders feeling diminished, until he learned to end each judgment with words of hope and human dignity. The law requires this sentence, he would say, and I trust this experience will guide you toward wisdom. Soon, his courtroom transformed from a place of punishment to one of transformation. Recidivism rates dropped among those who stood before him, not because his sentences were lighter, but because his words carried the weight of both truth and mercy. This teaching reveals that effectiveness flows from the marriage of honesty and kindness. The universe responds most powerfully to truth that uplifts, to clarity that heals, to wisdom that embraces. Your words can be both honest and healing, direct and nurturing, clear, and kind. When you master this balance, your influence expands naturally, without force or resistance. Ancient practice for speaking. Truth with grace. Before speaking any difficult truth today, pause and wrap your words in compassion's light. Imagine your message as a gift being placed in golden paper of understanding. Speak as if each sentence carries not just information but healing. End each truth with a bridge to hope, each correction with a path to growth. Let your voice become the sun that both illuminates and warms, until those who hear you feel seen rather than exposed, guided rather than judged. Chapter 25. The Language of Receiving. In the quietest corners of her antique shop, Betsy would arrange treasures with loving care, whispering encouragement to others yet turning away from their returned kindness. Each morning she blessed her customers with genuine warmth. May this piece bring joy to your home, or your eye for beauty is remarkable. Yet when they praised her careful curation or thoughtful service, she deflected their words like unwanted gifts. The universe operates through cycles of giving and receiving, an eternal dance of energy exchanged. When you resist receiving, you create a dam in the river of abundance. Your words of praise must find completion in accepting praise returned. This is the sacred circle of manifestation. Every compliment declined becomes a small rejection of the universe's offering. Each, "Oh, it's nothing," or "anyone could do it," sends ripples of resistance into the field of possibility. The law of receiving teaches that acceptance is not pride, it is completion. When you block the return current of appreciation, you interrupt the very flow you seek to create. Dalton discovered this truth in his carpentry workshop. For years he crafted magnificent pieces while dismissing acclaim. "Just doing my job," he would mutter, or "it could be better." His business remained modest despite his mastery. Then one day, an old craftsman visited his shop and shared wisdom passed down through generations. The wood gives itself to your hands. Honor its gift by accepting praise for what you create together. From that day forward, Dalton began responding differently. When clients marveled at his work, he would simply say, "Thank you, I received that." These words felt foreign at first, almost uncomfortable on his tongue. But gradually something shifted. Orders increased, opportunities expanded. His prosperity doubled not because he worked harder, but because he allowed completion of the giving-receiving cycle. The lesson whispers through time. Receptivity amplifies creative power. Your words of blessing multiply when you allow others' blessings to land upon your shore. Ancient practice. Sit in stillness and recall a recent compliment or expression of gratitude you received. Speak aloud. "I open my heart to receive this gift." Feel the warmth of acceptance in your body. Practice this daily with each blessing offered, whether small or large, until your voice naturally welcomes abundance without hesitation. Chapter 26. The Golden Reverberation. In a humble attic room, Irene sat among stacks of her old journals, astonished at what she discovered. Flipping through chapters of gratitude entries from months past, she noticed an uncanny pattern. Her present joys matched precisely with appreciative words she had written long ago. What she once viewed as coincidence revealed itself as the invisible machinery of the universe at work. The principle of reverberation teaches that every word of light you speak continues its journey through the quantum field indefinitely. Like ripples on an infinite pond, your expressions of love, gratitude, and blessing travel outward in ever-widening circles until conditions align to manifest their essence in physical form. When you understand this truth, you recognize that no positive declaration is ever wasted. Each loving thought voiced becomes a seed planted in the fertile soil of possibility, germinating in its own divine timing. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, stores these vibrations until the perfect moment of manifestation arrives. Consider Norbert, who sorted mail at the city post office. Rather than viewing his work as mundane, he began referring to his role as divinely orchestrated timing. He would say, "Through my hands flows perfect coordination, and I am an instrument of divine timing." Within weeks, a shift occurred. Important letters arrived precisely when needed. Lost packages found their way home through mysterious circumstances. His colleagues marveled at how synchronicities seemed to multiply around him. This illustrates a fundamental truth. The universe responds not to the surface meaning of words, but to their vibrational imprint in the field of all possibility. When Norbert aligned his speech with divine timing, he activated forces beyond ordinary perception. His words became instructions that the universe delighted in fulfilling. The power lies not in the immediate echo, but in the lasting resonance. Just as a bell's ring continues long after the strike, your words of power maintain their creative force as they journey through the dimensions of manifestation. This is why masters of old taught that we must speak with awareness of eternity's listening ear. Sacred practice. Sit in stillness for a moment and envision your words as golden light emanating outward in all directions. Now, speak this blessing. I send waves of pure love and gratitude into the infinite. May these vibrations touch all beings in perfect divine timing. Repeat this practice daily, knowing that your words are creating ripples of blessing that will return as miracles in their season. Chapter 27. The Sacred Vocabulary. In the heart of a bustling marketplace, Josie shared wisdom with friends while unconsciously scattering words of lack between her teachings. "The universe is abundant," she would say, followed quickly by, "but nothing ever works out for me." Her mixed messages created a field of confusion around her desires, like oil poured into pure water. The sacred law reveals that every word carries a frequency that either aligns with or contradicts your highest truth. When spiritual understanding mingles with unconscious complaint, the resulting vibration becomes muddied, unable to manifest with clarity. Your words must maintain consistent resonance with divine reality, even in casual conversation. Reginald, a poet who lived in solitude, discovered this truth through careful observation of his creative process. Where once he said, "I'm trying to write," he began declaring, "I am creating." This subtle shift transformed his relationship with inspiration. His verses flowed with newfound grace, and publishers who had long ignored his work suddenly sought him out. The universe responded not to his effort, but to his aligned declaration. The power lies not in speaking only of spiritual matters, but in allowing divine consciousness to infuse your everyday language. When you replace phrases of struggle with words of effortless unfolding, you tune your entire being to the frequency of grace. "I have to" becomes "I choose to." "I hope" transforms into "I know." "I can't" dissolves into "I am." Your vocabulary shapes the invisible architecture of your experience. Each word you speak either reinforces your connection to infinite intelligence or temporarily obscures it. The universe does not judge your speech as good or bad. It simply matches your verbal vibration with unwavering precision. Sacred speech requires no formal prayer or special occasion. It flows naturally when you recognize that every sentence is a seed planted in the fertile soil of consciousness. Your casual remarks about weather, your comments about traffic, your responses to daily challenges, all these become opportunities to align with higher truth. Practice. The ancient word, attunement. Sit in quietness for several minutes each morning. As you begin your day, listen to the words that naturally arise in your thoughts. With gentle awareness, transmute each phrase that doesn't serve your highest good. Let every casual expression become a conscious choice, a hymn of intentional creation woven effortlessly through your normal speech. Watch as your reality begins to mirror the purity of your chosen vocabulary. Chapter 28. Communion of Unity. In the quietness of dawn, Trudy counted her blessings in solitude, attributing each achievement to her own dedicated practice of positive speech. Yet something felt incomplete in her manifestations, as if a vital resonance remained untapped. The wisdom whispered that true power flows not through isolation, but through the harmonious blend of collective intention. The universe speaks in chorus, not in single notes. When you recognize that your voice joins a greater symphony, your words gain the strength of unified consciousness. Each blessing spoken to another multiplies your own vibration sevenfold, for the law of unity states that what you give to others returns amplified through the cosmic web of connection. Martin, a humble shoemaker in a small village, understood this profound truth. While others guarded their success like misers clutching coins, he began each morning declaring, "Our prosperity rises together." He blessed each customer's steps, spoke abundance over neighboring shops, and celebrated every success in his community as his own. Within months, a remarkable transformation swept through the village. Shops that once struggled now flourished. Customers flowed like rivers of blessing, and the entire neighborhood pulsed with newfound vitality. The teaching reveals that isolation weakens your creative voice, while unity strengthens it. When you speak as we instead of I, your words tap into the collective power of all consciousness. This is why ancient wisdom keepers gathered in circles. They understood that shared intention creates a field of manifestation far stronger than any individual voice. Your words are never truly yours alone. They ripple through the quantum field, touching countless lives in ways you cannot see. When you consciously direct your speech toward collective elevation, you activate a magnetic force that draws forth abundance for all. This is the sacred alchemy of unity consciousness. As you bless others, the universe multiplies blessings in all directions. Sacred practice. Begin each day by speaking 3 blessings for others before speaking any intention for yourself. Let your voice carry the warmth of inclusion. We are blessed with infinite abundance. Our joy multiplies together. Divine prosperity flows through all. Feel how your words create a field of shared elevation, and watch as the universe responds with gifts that benefit not just you, but all those connected to your voice. Chapter 29. The Final Command. Agnes found herself holding back her divine authority, believing that meekness meant remaining silent about her deepest longings. Yet within the cosmic dance of creation, true humility flows from recognizing your role as a channel for universal expansion. The teaching reveals that hesitation diminishes your natural birthright as a co-creator with the infinite. When you speak with calm certainty, you align with the universe's own desire to grow, to flourish, to become more. Your voice becomes the instrument through which possibility transforms into reality. Franklin, a young dreamer with stars in his eyes, discovered this truth through simple devotion. Each evening, as the sun painted the sky in hues of possibility, he would stand in his garden and speak 5 powerful words. It is done. No pleading, no hoping, no wondering, just pure, peaceful certainty. He understood that speaking completion called forth manifestation with the same surety as dawn follows night. Within months, his small ventures blossomed into abundant success. His relationships deepened with profound meaning, and opportunities appeared as naturally as flowers turning towards sunlight. The universe responded not to his words alone, but to the unwavering trust behind them. The recognition that he spoke in partnership with divine intelligence. This practice of definitive declaration differs from mere positive thinking. It springs from a deeper well, the knowledge that your voice carries the echo of creation itself. When you speak from this place of divine partnership, the universe recognizes its own intention in your words. The essence of command lies not in forcing outcomes, but in harmonizing with the infinite flow of good already seeking expression through you. Your role is to speak the word that gives form to formless potential, to name what shall be with the serene authority of one who knows their place in the cosmic order. Sacred practice. Find a quiet moment as your day draws to a close. Stand or sit in peaceful awareness of your divine partnership. For each desire held in your heart, speak these words with calm certainty. It is done. Feel the profound peace that comes with knowing the universe delights in fulfilling what you declare with trust. Let your voice carry the quiet authority of one who understands that true humility means accepting your role as a conscious co-creator with the infinite. Chapter 30. The Eternal Word. A weary wanderer once carried precious scrolls through distant lands, always searching for those ready to receive ancient wisdom. Upon reaching a mountaintop, she discovered that the greatest truth wasn't written in her texts. It was speaking through her very breath. The final command reveals itself not through force, but through recognition. You are not separate from the voice that creates worlds. When you speak, it is the universe expressing itself through your unique form. This knowing transforms casual conversation into sacred dialogue. Each word you utter ripples through the quantum field because you are that field in expression. The power isn't in the words themselves, but in the awareness behind them. This is why Sylvia's revelation changed everything. She stopped trying to make things happen and allowed herself to be the happening itself. The universe delights in speaking through those who recognize their true nature. Elmer discovered this when he began greeting neighbors with genuine blessing. He didn't plan his words or rehearse kind phrases. Instead, he allowed universal love to flow naturally through his greetings. Soon, the entire street transformed. Gardens bloomed more vibrantly, children played more harmoniously, and even the air seemed to carry a subtle music of joy. This is the final secret. You are not learning to command the universe, You are remembering that you are the universe commanding itself. Every word you speak is creation, talking to creation. Every blessing you offer is existence blessing itself. The power was never about finding the right words. It was about recognizing who is truly speaking. When you align with this truth, your voice naturally carries the authority of all creation. Your words become like seeds that the soil of reality cannot help but nurture into manifestation. Ancient practice of divine recognition. Sit in stillness each morning and evening. Place your hand upon your heart and whisper, "I am the voice through which the universe speaks its joy." Then move through your day allowing gratitude to flow freely, knowing that each word you speak is love recognizing itself in all things. Let your speech become a continuous song of appreciation, not because you seek results, but because you understand that gratitude is the natural language of existence, becoming aware of its own beauty. Part 4. The Continuation of Manifested Mastery. Chapter 31. The River of Persistence. In the quiet chambers of the heart, where truth whispers its eternal song, you have arrived at understanding's final gateway. Like Ivy Lou, you may have noticed your manifestations arriving in waves, matching the ebb and flow of your faith. Yet within this observation lies a profound revelation about the nature of creative speech. The universe responds not to sporadic bursts of belief, but to the steady pulse of unwavering declaration. As water shapes stone through gentle persistence rather than forceful impact, your words must flow with similar constancy. Each declaration, repeated with quiet certainty, carves new channels in the fabric of reality. Vernon James, the watchmaker, discovered this timeless principle through his daily practice. In his small shop, filled with the gentle ticking of timepieces, he would whisper blessings over each repair. Perfect timing governs all. Day after day, week after week, his soft declarations never wavered. He didn't shout his intentions or demand immediate results. Instead, he maintained the steady rhythm of absolute knowing. What unfolded in Vernon's life appeared miraculous to others. Clients arrived at precisely the right moment. Rare parts appeared when needed, and his reputation spread through mysterious channels. Yet Vernon understood that these miracles were simply the natural outcome of maintained vibration. Like a tuning fork held in constant resonance, his unwavering speech had taught the universe his preferred frequency. This teaching reveals that manifestation follows the law of accumulation rather than eruption. Your words, spoken with gentle persistence, gather power through repetition. Each declaration builds upon the last, creating a reservoir of creative energy that eventually overflows into physical expression. The secret lies not in the volume of your voice, but in its consistency. When you speak truth today as you spoke it yesterday, and as you will speak it tomorrow, you establish a pattern the universe recognizes and mirrors. This is not the exhausting effort of forcing change, but the natural flow of aligned energy finding its path. Ancient practice. Sit in silence for several minutes each morning. Choose one truth that resonates deeply with your heart's knowing. Speak this truth softly aloud 3 times, maintaining the same gentle tone and absolute certainty. Throughout the day, return to this declaration whenever you remember, speaking it with the same calm assurance. Continue this practice for 40 days, allowing your words to establish their rhythm in the cosmic dance. Chapter 32. The Circle of Return. In a quiet village, Maggie Rose shared her garden's harvest with neighbors, yet inwardly fretted about having enough for herself. Each vegetable given came with an invisible string of worry attached. Though her hands opened in generosity, her heart clenched in fear of lack. This inner contradiction created ripples of confusion in the universal flow. The law of circulation moves with perfect precision through all existence. Like breath itself, it must complete its cycle. The inhale requires the exhale. The tide that goes out must return. When you comprehend this truth, giving transforms from sacrifice to celebration. Your words of generosity initiate waves of abundance that must, by universal law, complete their journey back to you. Yet these waves return not as mere echoes, but as amplified blessings. The universe delights in multiplication, expanding each gift through countless channels of return. Jonathan Dean discovered this truth late in life. After retiring from his carpentry work, he felt drawn to teach young apprentices without charge. At first, his family questioned his choice to give away knowledge that had earned him a living. But Jonathan began each lesson by saying, "Everything I give expands me," speaking it with such natural conviction that the words themselves seemed to glow with truth. Within months, his students' successes brought him unexpected rewards. Some shared their first earnings, others referred wealthy clients for special projects, and still others brought gifts that answered needs he hadn't expressed. The circle completed itself in ways his planning mind could never have designed. The universe operates through this law of completion. Every generous word or deed enters the cosmic circulation, gathering momentum and substance as it travels. Your role is not to track its journey or demand its return, but to maintain clear channels through which abundance can flow both ways. Ancient practice of circular blessing. Find a quiet space and sit with your palms open upward. Begin speaking words of blessing for others, letting each statement flow naturally from your heart. As you speak, visualize these blessings entering a great river of giving that flows endlessly in both directions. Complete each blessing with the phrase, "This gift expands through me and returns multiplied." Maintain this practice daily until you feel the rhythm of giving and receiving become one natural movement in your life. Chapter 33. The Art of Gentle Correction. In the eternal dance between thought and manifestation, your inner dialogue shapes the music of your reality. The wisdom traditions speak of a sacred truth. Resistance to unwanted thoughts only amplifies their power, while gentle redirection transforms their energy into creative force. Consider the tale of Patsy Lane, who discovered this truth through her own journey. Each morning, she would wage war against negative thoughts, scolding herself harshly for doubts and fears. Yet the more she fought, the stronger these thoughts grew, like shadows lengthening at sunset. Her inner battlefield yielded no victory, only exhaustion. The universe whispers that consciousness flows where attention goes, but the tone of that attention matters deeply. When you attempt to correct your thoughts with judgment, you create a vibration of conflict that echoes through your field of manifestation. The art of conscious speech begins with compassionate awareness. Your thoughts are not enemies to be vanquished, but aspects of consciousness seeking transformation. Like water finding its level, energy responds to the gentlest guidance when offered with love. Reggie Cole, the jazz trumpeter, embodied this wisdom through his musical journey. Where once he berated himself for every missed note, he learned to dance with imperfection. His simple yet profound shift from "I always mess up" to "I'm beautifully learning" changed more than his words. It altered the very frequency of his creative expression. His music began to flow with newfound grace, touching hearts in ways his previous perfectionism never could. The universe responds not to force, but to frequency. When you speak to yourself with tenderness, you align with the natural current of creation. Each gentle redirection becomes a note in the symphony of manifestation, each kind word a seed of transformation. Your thoughts are like young birds learning to fly. They need encouragement, not criticism, guidance, not judgment. When you master this art of inner kindness, your entire vibrational field shifts into harmony with the abundance you seek. Ancient practice of gentle redirection. When you notice tension in your thoughts, pause and breathe deeply. Without judgment, observe the thought as it appears. Then, with the tenderness of a loving parent, offer a kinder alternative. Let your new words float like soft petals on the surface of consciousness. Continue this practice until your self-talk naturally flows with the rhythm of grace, shaping miracles through the power of gentle transformation. Chapter 34. The Infinite Conversation. Lydia May asked if manifestation ever ends. The universe whispered its answer through the rhythms of her daily life, each sunset birthing dawn, each tide returning home, each season flowing into the next. The eternal dance of creation never pauses. It invites your voice to join its endless symphony. The teaching reveals that speaking is not merely communication, but eternal participation in creation's unfolding. Your words weave into the fabric of existence, becoming threads in the infinite tapestry of manifestation. Each utterance ripples through time, joining the chorus of universal consciousness that has sung since the beginning. Every era, every breath, continues the great dialogue between awareness and its reflection. When you speak with conscious intent, you participate in the same creative force that birthed stars and shaped valleys. This conversation flows through all time, carrying forward the power that first moved upon the waters of creation. Herman Clyde, who tended the coastal lighthouse, understood this profound truth through his nightly communion with the sea. Each evening, as darkness descended, he would say to the waves, "We guide each other." Over time, he witnessed a remarkable transformation. The stormy waters began to harmonize with his beacon's light. The turbulent seas gradually softened, as if responding to his gentle acknowledgement of their mutual purpose. His experience reveals that the conversation between consciousness and creation deepens through recognition of unity. When you speak to life as a beloved partner, rather than a force to be conquered, the universe mirrors this understanding back through increasingly harmonious manifestations. The conversation between you and the cosmos never ceases. It only deepens in intimacy. Each word you utter contributes to this eternal exchange, this endless dance of spirit becoming form. Your voice carries the same creative power that sustains galaxies, that unfolds flowers, that moves mountains through persistent whispers of wind. Ancient practice. In sacred silence, find a quiet moment to speak these words. I am one with the eternal voice of creation. Let this truth resonate through your being. Then, throughout your day, speak in harmony with creation itself, knowing your voice will echo forever within the infinite dialogue of love becoming form. If you enjoyed this audiobook, I created a free ebook version for you. You can download it using the link in the pinned comment. Conclusion. The universe holds its breath for your conscious word, not in submission, but in eager anticipation of co-creation. Every utterance rippling from present awareness carries the power to reshape reality's fabric. This truth has whispered through the ages, passed from sage to seeker. Your voice, when aligned with the eternal now, becomes the brush that paints tomorrow. Within the depths of silence dwells a living intelligence, waiting to amplify your clear intention. It seeks not the desperate pleas of tomorrow or the regretful murmurs of yesterday, but the steady tone of one who speaks from a timeless presence. Here lies the sacred alchemy. When your words emerge from stillness, they carry the weight of universal law. Each breath becomes an opportunity to direct the cosmic dance. Whether blessing or declaration, gratitude or command, your conscious speech instructs the quantum field. The power was always there, dormant perhaps, but never diminished. Like a master conductor, the universe responds not to volume but to clarity, not to repetition but to resonance. This is the ultimate revelation. You are not petitioning an external force but awakening to your role as creation's voice. Your words, when spoken from presence, are existence itself taking new form. The power lies not in the phrases chosen, but in the awareness from which they spring. Speak, then, with the quiet authority of one who knows. Let each word rise from the well of now, carrying the frequency of certainty. The universe stands ready, not as servant, but as partner, to transform your conscious speech into manifest reality. This is not manifestation. It is remembrance of what you have always been, the living breath through which the infinite expresses itself.
If you enjoyed this exclusive audiobook, I handpicked this next book which will change your life.